Cherry chip.
Good morning. Friday morning, and Sally's got donuts, and she's not sharing.
An apple Danish.
Well, I guess she is sharing. She's just not sharing with us.
I don't think she's sharing in her house either. I think somebody comes into her house and tries to snatch one of those. She's biting an arm off, so.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It's Friday. It's a good day. We're up and running today.
Oh, sure we are.
While you're up, your eyes are open.
I'm up every morning, crazy hours, but doesn't mean I'm running.
Me too. But I've been up since 8 o'clock last night.
You guys been selling a lot? Or has it been slow?
Right now it's kind of work or sell eBay. eBay has been slow for me. I sold a book on cassette for Amazon yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
Which, yeah. I named my price on that one because they didn't have a listing for it, so I made my own listing.
Well, that's kind of neat. You make your own listing, you do everything, and it actually sells. So.
And then I put it for $10. I got it for free, so of course. And and so they had the what do you call it? The shipping, because I do merchant fulfilled, so they had the shipping thing on there. So the buyer paid $13.99 because they give you a shipping thing for $3.99. So I made $10. Well,
you made
minus fees.
$10. Yeah.
$10 minus what, about $4 in fees?
Yeah, I can't believe how much their fees are. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, people complain about eBay, but
yeah, Amazon's worse.
I mean, eBay, at least you know what your fees are up front. I mean, Amazon tells you too, but I mean, it's just for merchant fulfilled specifically. I mean, it seems like their fees are a little higher than it should be, but yeah.
Yeah.
I FBA, so I don't worry about the fees.
Right. I don't want to do FBA with them just because I kind of don't trust them.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that.
I don't know. I just kind of don't trust Amazon as a whole. I don't think I'm not scared that like they're going to rip me off or anything. But I just don't think that I'm ready for that whole thing.
Oh, if you're willing to sell it on merchant fulfilled, then you should be willing to sell it FBA. The nice thing about FBA is you can usually get a little bit higher price, not a whole lot higher, but a little bit higher price. And the hassle's done. You don't have to worry about it. You send it in and you stop thinking about it. You don't have to worry about shipping it or anything like that. I mean, FBA is kind of nice for that aspect, but I mean, there are other aspects. You have to look at long-term storage fees if you send in stuff that doesn't sell.
Yeah, see, that's the part that I don't really like.
It's not that, I mean, it takes 6 months for you to even get hit with one of those. So if you don't send in a whole lot, if you don't have 10,000 items down there, you're probably not going to have a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I said your better profit margin is on eBay.
The only reason why I sell things Amazon merchant fulfilled anyways, and not because that stuff is not listed on eBay. I don't have it cross listed. So
I would probably cross list it if I would sit it in my house anyway. And you have a special area that's cross listed merchandise, and as soon as you sell it, you pick it up and you delete it off the other site.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, I could do it. It wouldn't be, it probably wouldn't be a big deal.
The thing is you have more eyes looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
And maybe even somebody that sees it on eBay will go to Amazon and say, well, I'll just buy it off of Amazon. And then they find my listing anyways and, buy it from me anyways. But yeah, I might do that. I have a lot of books.
Well, books are different. I mean, you really have to kind of look at books and see what they're selling for. And
Morning, Tara.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Oh, that's a new Tara look.
Oh, I'm just sitting on the other side of the room.
Yeah, but we're used to seeing the side of you, not the front of you.
Well, because I think when they say it's too quiet, I think it's because I'm on my desktop and I'm like facing my desktop, and maybe the mic on this laptop doesn't pick it up very good.
Okay.
It's better now, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's the way I'm sitting, because like I have a corner desk, so my computer will be on my left-hand side, so maybe I'm not facing it very well.
Right.
You sound better.
We can hear you a lot better.
Yeah, and maybe it picks it up better or something.
Yeah.
Do we have any echoes? Does everybody sound okay?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
hear
that's fine.
Do I sound like I'm like underwater or?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Good.
No snorkeling for you today.
Dang it.
I think Nikki wants to come in, but I think her message isn't coming through, or the link for the hangout.
For
me on Facebook. I don't know if she didn't get it on her phone or whatever. She's like, well,
okay,
it doesn't come through.
I sent it again, so it should be here shortly.
Hopefully it'll work for her. So it was slow yesterday, hey?
It was.
It was for during the day, and then I got some stuff in the evening. But it was bad yesterday morning. It was still a slow day yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one sale yesterday.
And I think I had like 7, and it was a lot of. Well, I got one bigger thing, and then the other stuff was all small stuff.
I would settle for 7.
Well, I can tell you, because I was talking to Nikki until like noon or whatever. I had nothing until all morning. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a real bad one.
Dustin, it was crazy. I hung out with him for a little bit in the afternoon, and it seemed like he was on there, and he must have had 20 sales run through that in like an hour. It was crazy. I mean, he was like, what is going on here? He couldn't even figure it out. It was just bang, bang, bang. I mean, he would literally start packing something up and bang. Just couldn't keep up with it. Which is, poor Dusty and everything, but it was bizarre. I mean, when you just see stuff starting to fly out, and it wasn't, high demand stuff or anything. It was just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Good for him, but it was just kind of weird.
That's good though. Glad that somebody's getting them.
It seems like Thursdays are never really that great of a selling day anyway.
I do much better on the weekends.
Yeah.
I think everybody does. I mean, people are shopping more on the weekends. But Monday and Tuesday are typically pretty good. I did good on Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, not so well.
Mondays actually seems to be my busiest day.
Monday was good. Saturday last weekend was slow, and then it picked up Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for me. Which I don't know why.
I'm really trying to at least. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I'm really trying to at least go in there and take a few pictures in the morning when I get home from work, or after I've had time to sit for a little bit. I try to go in there and take pictures, and then while we're doing the show, or afterwards, I can make listings and just kind of do it that way. At least I'm getting something up.
It helps. You get kind of fresh stuff on there, and it's activity.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's hard, working a full-time job and, the house and all the other extra, duties that you have, it's tough.
Yeah.
And then, just being tired from working nights. I mean, that's a whole issue in itself.
Yeah.
I couldn't do as much as I do with it if I worked a job. It would be hard.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
in the fall of the year, well, I don't do it anymore, but I used to have a friend and I'd go work. She'd need help in the fall for about a month and a half. So I'd help her. But when I do that, my husband's like, I can see the sales on eBay go down because I don't have you sitting here listing and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't just be you can't sit in front of your computer and list all day long. I mean, it's just, you got to take breaks. You got to get up and move around. You got to take a nap. I mean, it's like any other job.
Yeah.
The bad thing about working from home with any type of job is you have a tendency to work all the time because you're sitting there in front of your computer, or there's nothing else going on. It's easy to sit down and just do some work when really you need to be relaxing away from work. I mean, you wouldn't take a regular job somewhere else and work 20 hours a day because you could.
Well, I will say, if you work for yourself, you'll work 5 times harder for yourself. Now,
Yeah.
For me, the incentive is, well, I want to make a living. I want to be able to keep the stuff I have. So I hit it hard. I do it every day. I'll do it on the weekends. I mean, it's like, I enjoy doing it too. It's me and my husband. We enjoy doing it. So it's a big part of our life. I mean, we hit it hard pretty much every day, unless we go to an auction on a weekend or whatever. I mean, I hit it hard.
See, that's still working. When you think about it, even going to an auction, which I love going to an auction. To me, it's so relaxing. It's so much fun.
Fun. It's
but
a
you're
job.
still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I don't think people realize how hard this job is, or how hard you make this job to be successful at it. You work all the time, and there's no time for playing. There's no time. I mean, but you've got to be able to take those breaks. Before we went live, we were discussing taking a nap in the afternoon or something. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sitting down and taking a couple-hour nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I eat my lunch in front of my computer. I don't eat my breakfast in front of the computer, but I could. But you sometimes eat your dinner in front of the computer while you're working. Researching, bidding on auctions, the listing. I mean, yeah, you just got to learn to just take a step back every now and then.
Yeah.
There's usually one day a week when I don't even turn the computer on.
Oh, yeah, I can't say that. Well, but we play hard when we go. I mean, we went to Florida. We left. We were gone for 10 days. We did. We did Disney for 4 days. So we played hard this summer. But I try to work hard during the year. Then
when you were in Florida, were you sourcing?
I went to an auction in Florida. I did. I went from Wisconsin to Mississippi. I bought a dually truck in Mississippi. I drove the dually to Orlando, so I had to get the truck anyway. And my husband's like, we're this close to Florida. We're going to Florida. We went to Orlando. His parents live in Kissimmee. So we went down there for, I don't know, we were probably there for 5 or 6 days. Did Disney for 4. I got there Thursday night. I went on Auction Zip. I said, hey, there's an auction in Orlando. Let's go check it out. And I didn't buy very much. It was a lot of furniture, and I didn't really have a way to haul it home. Because in the back of the truck, if it rained on the way home, it'd get wet. I did buy a chandelier for $5 that while I was down there, I sold it for $200. So it paid a little bit of something.
Yeah, I mean, I always recommend if you're going to make a trip or something, nothing wrong to take a few hours to go out and try to pay for that trip.
Yeah,
buy stuff that'll help pay the bills for that trip, because that's, I mean, honestly, most of us when we go out and we're running around, we can go out and make a stop somewhere and get enough stuff to pay for whatever we did that day.
Yeah.
That's kind of the beauty of this job is, you don't look at things like stuff. You look at things like how much can I make off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to any thrift stores while I was down there. I just didn't have time because my husband, he's like militant at Disney. You got to be there when the gates open, and you got to still be there when the gates close. So you're there by the time you get there at 8 and ride the ferry across and get in the park at 9. I mean, you're there from 9 in the morning till it closes at 12:30 at night. Well, I can tell you, you'd be beat after marching around all like that.
I have never been to Disney.
Yeah, it's fun. If you have kids, it's fun to go to. If you have, like, my son is 9. He likes it a lot. There'll be a point where he's probably getting a little bit too big for Disney, you know, and then we might do a little more Universal or something. I'd never been to Disney till I married my husband, but he used to, with his family, go there every year for spring break. I won't go at spring break because it's too packed. So we go in the summer because then you can't hardly get on anything.
Shoot, I'd go to Disney without my kids.
It's fun, you know, like Hollywood Studios is kind of like they're turning it into Star Wars park. So if you like Star Wars, which I do, and my son does, that's like going into Star Wars world. So they made that really good. And Magic Kingdom's fun. Epcot's good, but you can do it for about a half a day and get sick of it. And then you go back to Magic Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, okay.
I was in choir, well, sixth grade on into high school and everything, and we would go on tour and visit high schools, you know, up and down, you know, either going north or, you know, going south. And anytime we go south, we go Magic Mountain, Disneyland, Universal Studios.
Sure, you're from California, so you have Disneyland over there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was always a blast to, you know, go to. I've been several times, so.
I've been to Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm.
Berry Farm I've been to, yeah.
I went to Disneyland when I was a very, very young child. I don't remember it, but I was born in California, so I mean.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever went to, well, my husband took me to Universal before we had the baby in Florida, but before that, the only thing I'd ever been to is Six Flags Great America. I never went to anything like that. Nothing like Disney.
A couple different Six Flags. Yeah, here in Ohio, we've got Kings Island and Cedar Point. So,
yeah, see, I'm originally from Milwaukee area, so Six Flags is just across the border in Illinois by Gurney. Yeah. It's like a couple-hour drive.
Yeah, my husband's talked about going to Cedar Point. I'm like, that doesn't look better to than Magic Mountain. That doesn't look better to me.
It's considered the best. If you like roller coasters, it's the best roller coaster park in the country. If you don't like roller coasters, it's not worth going there.
I don't know about that.
I don't ride roller coasters.
It is considered the best roller coaster park in the country. If you look at all the reviews and all the different coasters, because they've got more coasters than any other park. But like I said, it's really focused on roller coasters. It's got a bunch of other stuff, but it's mainly, and I don't do roller coasters, so I don't go to Cedar Point. But it is mainly focused on their roller coaster.
I don't know if I do roller coasters anymore or not. I used to do.
But Kings Island is fine. I mean, Kings Island has a pretty good mix, but they've got a couple of really good roller coasters as well. The Beast is, you know, legendary, and they got some really rough ones. But the Beast is wooden. I mean, and then they had Son of Beast, which was the only wooden looping roller coaster, but they actually tore that down a few years ago. My daughters went on it the first time, and since I don't do roller coasters, I was waiting for them to come out of the line. And they both come out and they were white as ghosts. I mean, it was hilarious. They're walking, they're holding their stomachs, and I'm just like, I'm dying laughing at them. And it was too rough. I mean, they said they did it one time and they weren't going to go back on it. That's how bad it was, how scary it was to them. So, Kings Island water parks.
My son did Tower of Terror with his dad this summer, and it's pretty rough. I won't go on it. Anyway, they get done with the ride, and Jim hates the ride too. And he goes, "Well, Brandon, you want to go on it again?" He goes, looks at him. He goes, "Didn't you hear my screams?"
Yeah, I'm not a big.
I don't like being up in the air and drop suddenly.
Yeah, I'm not a big thrill seeker. I don't do adrenaline rush. I used to have a job where I had adrenaline rushes that were serious, and I don't do that for fun.
I don't like heights, so no, I don't do that stuff.
I don't like heights either.
I'm scared of heights.
As long as I can understand, as long as I'm on something solid, I don't mind being in a big building. I mean, but you know, I went out to Vegas. I don't know. I guess it's been a few years, and I got Stratosphere Tower. And back then, I don't know. It probably still has it. They had the roller coaster on top of the tower.
Yep.
And do they still have the little ride where it shoots you up type thing on top in between the roller coaster as well?
Yeah, they have two rides on the top.
Yeah. So I did the tower thing where I wanted to have a meal at the restaurant up there, which is the big revolving restaurant. It was fantastic food, but it was a little disconcerting when you go to sit down and you hear it clunk and you look down and your chair is actually sitting on the glass. And
Oh,
that's a
wow.
little, so I'm moving my chair over to solid area there. It was a little bit more, I was like, no, I don't mind. I love the view; it's gorgeous. And then I went up to the upper tower, and it's a tower, and then it comes down. There's this little area out here where they have like all the air conditioning, and everything. So it's not like you can look straight down. But they have a roller coaster on top of that tower, and you're, I don't know, 1,000 feet up. I don't know how big it is, but
Yeah.
it's tall.
Yeah, it's huge.
I couldn't imagine being on a roller coaster. You know, and I know they had proposed to do another ride up there, but I think they got it shot down. It was, I remember reading something about it. They called it insanity, and what it was is they were going to put everybody in this big arm, and the arm would literally just come down here and over top and dangle you 1,000 feet in the air, and then pull you back. I'm like, no.
Well, have you ever just sat and watched some of the videos on roller coasters, like reviews?
Mm-hmm.
And and some of those videos could get my heart going too. I'm like, woo.
Yeah.
Peeking over the edge of the over the hill, and here we go.
I got that video of the and did you ever see the video of the kid in one of those slingshots where they sling you up and he's like coming loose inside the seat and stuff? Oh my God, I would never ride in one of those.
Yeah, I always got pitched out of a ride in Kings Island. They had their little water park ride. It's where you're kind of riding the boat and it kind of goes around in a circle and up and down and stuff like that. Well, I was kind of sitting back and I did have my knees locked up underneath the little bar that they have to hold you down in there. And it came over top of this little hump. And I literally got thrown up and over top of the front of the seat where my daughters were sitting. And I'm freaking out. I mean, it's water. It's not a big deal. It's not like they're falling or anything. But it's like, I didn't want to get run over by a boat or something. But I thought, man, if I just been a little bit more relaxed, I'd have been swimming at that point. So.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm a wuss. I like the log ride. I could ride that all day long.
Yeah. I like the water rides. I like the scary rides too, like Superman and.
Wow, that's the best. I cried the first time I rode that, and I think I was in my 30s. But as soon as I got off, I was like crying, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that was awesome! Let's do it again!" But
Yeah.
the first time I went, I can't remember who I was with. I think it was Amy and Johnny and Kwanda, and they had taken like coins and held them in their hand. And when we got up there to the point to where we were going to drop, they opened their hands and the coins went up and started rotating and stuff. And it was awesome. Because it was
When you're really
like,
falling faster.
what do you call it, G-force or?
Right.
Yeah, because you're way up there, and just being shot up there so fast, and then you're gonna fall, but it takes about 3 or 4 seconds to fall, and it's just the suspense literally feels like it's gonna kill you.
It's kind of weird. I have no desire to skydive. And my stepson's a paratrooper with the Army, so he's jumped out of plenty of planes. But I have no desire to skydive. But I would hang glide. And probably skydiving is probably safer, but I would hang glide.
Well, now they have double parachutes. They have double parachutes, like they have an extra.
I want one of those parachutes that they launch a Jeep out with, that huge giant thing. I mean, I want that would be me. That's I'm not,
like an elephant parachute.
That's right.
I don't like flying, so you wouldn't get me to jump out of a plane.
No, I don't mind flying. That doesn't bother me.
Not willingly, anyways.
No.
I mean, if I had to, if I was in a situation where you had a parachute and you either jump or you don't, I mean, I would jump. I mean, but that for me, it's not, again, it's one of those adrenaline sports I don't think I would enjoy. But hang gliding, I think, looks to me like fun. I mean, getting out there and you stay up for as long as you can possibly keep it up. I mean, and you're basically flying. I think that would be cool. But
I'm one of those kind of persons, like, or people that you know, if I'm scared to do something, I'll say that I don't want to do it. But once I try it, I'm all for it, you know.
I'm not afraid to say I'm scared to do something.
Not afraid to say that I'm scared to do it, but just to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, if I don't want to do something, I won't do
Am
it.
I making sense? Am I too tired today?
Today?
Is this thing on?
You're getting your normal response.
Oh.
Let's Dusty must be sleeping.
Wake up.
I don't know.
I know you can hear us.
Let's see. You know, talking about
Yeah, those. Oh, go ahead.
Talking about the, you know, naps and trying to take a break and every, you know, I try to do that every once in a while throughout the day, because it, you know, like you were saying, you can't just work and work and work and work. And so I try to make it a point to, I try not to eat in my office. I try to eat outside of my office, you know, in the living room or in the kitchen or whatever. You know, and I'll turn on, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I'll turn on the TV, you know, and watch an episode of something, or, you know, just to kind of zone out, get away from work for a little bit. And, you know, yesterday it was kind of nice because I walked to the post office and it was cold, but it was nice to get some fresh air and, you know, get out and you know, get a little bit of exercise. So it was good, even though it was a little chilly.
Last night it was it was perfect temperature. Well, it was cold, but it, you know, with a coat on, it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And just snow blowing. It was just, it felt so good outside. You know, just brisk, basically.
Right.
And you know, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need to go outside and enjoy being outside.
Right. Enjoy the weather, and it's supposed to be, I think, in the 40s today, so I might try and get out in the garage and
Grab another
I
tote.
always say, what's that?
Grab another tote.
Well, yeah, I gotta do some rearranging in the garage. Gotta make some areas for, like, have like a cleanup day around here where you can put whatever on the curb and they'll, you know, put it in the trash bin. So, and there's some things that I can't sell that are, you know, it's basically no good. And so, you know, I'm gonna try and make little areas for each thing and yard sell, and then try to figure out my bins too, because they're kind of all, you know, there's no sections or categories or anything, and I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, organize your inventory. I did that a month or two ago, I guess, in my garage, so that I know I had to separate, you know, what was inventory, what was donation, and then what was my stuff, you know, stuff I keep. And that's when I realized how much stuff I have in the garage.
Yeah.
Kind of scary.
Well, you know, and that's the thing too, is I'm in the process of, you know, trying to get rid of things. It's going to be difficult to leave here with the bare minimum, and that's what I'm going to work to do.
It's not
going
really
to be
that. I mean, it depends on where you're at with your inventory. If you're going to leave with the inventory that you have currently listed, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But the easiest way to do it is you just flat out donate everything.
That's, and in the end, at the end of everything, whatever's left, that's going to be donated, bottom line. Because when I go to California, I'm going to start over. I'm going to start fresh, new inventory. They've got a bins there, so I can just start with that. I want to, make a new process of, instead of buying things and, I'll get the good stuff and get that listed, but then, the other stuff I'll just wait. I want to list everything that I get.
Yeah, if you go to the bins, and I mean, I think we'd all probably look at our inventory differently if we said that, whenever you buy something, you cannot buy something again until you've listed it.
Right.
I mean, there's too many of us that get stuck in that, every day. I mean, that's how I built up such a huge backlog, is I was in 4 or 5 auctions a night. And when you're constantly doing that, you're picking up new stuff every day, and you don't have time to get it all listed, and that's part of the problem with it. So that's why I've been doing nothing but kind of listing. I really haven't bought that much this month. Everything I bought has been listed.
Me too, I think.
Yeah, I actually got some stuff at the thrift store. Was it yesterday or the day before? I got to take the tags off of, and that's it. That's the only thing I haven't listed, but everything else is up. And I mean, I'm doing really well with the stuff I have, but I just can't keep buying and buying and buying and not expect the listing fairies to get here and start getting it listed for me. So
exactly.
If you find those bad, tell them to come to my house.
No, they skip my house many times.
Do you have a lot of stuff, like personal stuff too?
Yeah, I mean, when I came here, I basically came with nothing, and but I've been here for 7 years, so you tend to accumulate
stuff now. Do you ever think about having an auction? I mean,
I don't think I have.
The only reason I say that is because I got property I'm going to put up for sale. And if I sell this, I might end up having an auction just because I want to move away. I look at it like if somebody came to your house right now and said, I'll buy everything you have in your house and I'll give you 10 grand for it. Would you do it? I don't know. I don't know what you got here. Okay. So that's the way you look at it. Because if you have an auction, some stuff's going to go real cheap. Some stuff's going to go high and it evens out. But it is a good way to cash out of it. You know what I mean? Like if you have a lot of furniture or like if your husband has a lot of tools or, I don't know.
Yeah. If someone came to my house and offered me 2 grand for my inventory, I'd sell it to them.
Yeah,
not just use it as an example. I mean,
yeah,
right. If somebody said I'll walk, because you figure everything you own, like, well, I have a lot of stuff because I inherited a lot of stuff. I cleaned out a house and I got big stuff. So if somebody walked to me and said, I'll give you X amount for everything, I'd say yes. So sometimes an auction is beneficial. It gives you at the end of the day, one day, and you get a big check and then you can move on and do whatever you want. And it might be something it gets you wherever you want to go.
That's an idea.
On your own, it might take you longer.
Right.
Just something maybe to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and when I think about things like that, I just think that I don't really have anything of, high value. Like I have a rider lawnmower that I want to get rid of, and I want to have, I have a couple of yard tools. A wood chipper and things like that I want to get rid of. But
I don't know. It might be something, and I don't know what your area is like. It might be something you could talk to an auction company. They'll come in, they'll take a look at your stuff and see if you have enough to put an auction on. Or what sometimes they do is they might have 2 smaller, like estates or whatever. They put them together in one auction. But I mean, like if you went to Walmart and had to replace that lawnmower, I mean, stuff's gotten more expensive. There's a lot of people that go shop at auction,
True. That's very true.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look at that. That's a great idea.
I've thought about it, but I have a piece of real estate. Well, I have 40 acres I'm dividing up. I got part of it is supposed to sell in March. then I'm going to list this other part that has this 13,000 square foot barn on it and another pole barn on it. And I got stuff in it. And I said to my husband, if I got an offer on it and if I said, I can't deal with this, we'll just have an auction company come in and I'll just get it auctioned off. No, I'm not showing people a picture of my messy storage. No. Anyway. So,
Yeah.
I mean, something to think about. And the auction company, it don't cost you anything to talk to them. They'll come in and look at stuff, and they'll tell you if you have enough stuff to do an auction. But, I mean, what the heck? It's just talking to somebody.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. So
I've done that a lot where I've cleaned out. I used to work with one auction company, and what I was doing was I was actually, when I moved back up here, I moved up. I had two 18-foot truckloads that I moved, and so what I did is I just throw it all in the garage, and then I would slowly go through it and fill up my pickup truck, and I would take it to an online auction house and let them sell it.
Yeah.
I didn't care
Well,
what
for
I
her,
got for it.
she doesn't have a trailer and stuff, so that'd be kind of hard for her to try to haul it. You know?
Well, you can use a lot of those guys will come and pick the stuff up too. If you have a big enough load, they'll pick it up for you. Like if you would call, I mean, I don't know, assume you have an online auction house in your area. You would call them up and said, I've got 18 totes of items out in my garage. I want you to put on an auction. They would come and get it. And if you say, I really don't care what you get for it. If you get $1 a tote, I'm happy. You know, that type of stuff. You know, you're going to get more than that. And they would go and then they would try to split it up that would be most beneficial for both of you. Because they want to get the most out of everything as well. But if you said something like that, then you're going to get somebody to come and pick it up for you. But I would bring them a load about once every 2 weeks. And I probably did 10 online auctions to empty my garage out. And I kept some of the stuff, obviously. But you know, those are the things you can do to help move better, to really clean out crap. Because you know, if you buy a lot of stuff at auction, you end up with a lot of crap. Just can't help it because of the the box lots and things like that.
yeah. Well, I mean, my idea was just to have, you know, usually more often than not, we have a big yard sale at the beginning of the month. You know, everybody gets paid their social security checks and, you know, whatever. And so I thought, you know, maybe around, depending on how the weather is, April, May, you know, start having a monthly yard sale.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. You don't exactly know when what your timeline is and everything. So
Right. And I think, you know, I put so much money and investment in all the inventory. I would hate to just ditch it all. You know, that seems.
yeah. I mean, you hate to. I mean, I would hate to just have to get rid of my inventory.
Yeah.
But I know that every bit of my inventory that I currently own, and as soon as my one auction closes, that every bit of it is paid for. I could throw it all away tomorrow. I could empty my entire store out, throw it all away, and I would be out no money. So I've already made enough off of the bulk buys that it's all paid for.
Right.
I don't want to do it, but I could.
Just remember, they usually take 20%. At least that's what they take here. And some of them, if they have to do a lot of the sorting or hauling of it, then they'll charge you for their men, and that's usually about $20 an hour.
Right.
Here in my market, that's how these auctions do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's definitely something to you know, maybe look into and talk to an auctioneer about. And
I tell you the truth, like for me personally, because I hate dealing with rummage sale people, I'd rather just have an auction. Because I figured, let them bid for it. Because what happens is, for me, well, not really too much, but you underprice something, and then you get these people, and they got to bust you on the price. Or at least at an auction, it goes out, and you get a couple people bidding on it, and you'll see what you get. I don't like, you know, because they can't help themselves. You know, they got to, you know, try to Jew you down, or, you know, they're shit pickers, and they pick you, you know.
Yeah. And my luck, you know, I probably.
I've done very well at yard sales, but again, it's all about pricing and your ability to work with pricing. Um, for me, I don't mind somebody wants to come in and like I said, I usually own my stuff for free at that point because I've already sold enough to pay for it. I'm just getting rid of my leftovers, so I don't mind if somebody comes in and starts buying and want a little bit better price or something along those lines. That doesn't bother me. What I don't, what I do, especially if I have like clothing and stuff like that, it's a bump.
I don't do clothing at rummage sale.
Yeah, that's why I said if you got totes of clothing, you slap $1 on the tote and let people pick, and then you gotta let people get in there and definitely rummage through it and pick what you want. I don't really care, just take it. Just trying to get rid of stuff.
Yeah. That's, I mean, and that maybe, and maybe I can kind of look over, once I get kind of a feel of what exactly I have. Maybe I can, kind of assess the deal and assess everything.
Somebody needs to turn the waterfalls off.
Yes.
It's making me have to pee.
Oh. I used to buy a lot of antique furniture at auctions. I don't do it so really too much anymore. And I would twice a year, I would set up, I'd rent a place in town. I had a commercial box truck. And we'd set up an estate sale and we'd sell out of there for the weekend. So I did do a lot of that. But I usually, for me personally, I don't like having on-site rummage sales because there's stuff that I don't want to sell and they can't help themselves. They have to ask about it. You know what I mean? So I usually try to do it off of where I live.
I always do it in my driveway, but I didn't really care because I said that's all you're seeing was stuff I put out. I didn't open my garage.
Well, see, I set mine up in my pole barn, so I didn't have to worry about rain or that because I had a big one sitting here once. And, they got to ask, how much for the Ford tractors? How much for the gooseneck trailer? How much for the anvil? So then my husband just like, I don't know, $5,000 per tractor. Oh, I could buy that for that. He goes, well, I'll have to go out and buy it and replace it when you try to buy it. So I'll just price it high then.
It's obvious we're on a farm here. I mean, I'm not selling my farm stuff.
Yeah, I need this stuff, but they can't help themselves. That's just the way it is. At least here where I'm. I mean, and I have a bigger amount of land, so they want to wander all over the place, and anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, that's where you instead of doing that, I would slap just insane, stupid prices on that stuff, so that they see the price like, oh, they want too much for that stuff.
Now they get so mad they leave. Then honestly, they get so mad they just leave. That's how it is here. So I just have I don't have a lot of patience for people, so. I just would rather not do it. Me personally, I'd rather not run my own rummage, not at my house.
Yeah, people can be really annoying when they come to your rummage sales. I had this guy last summer. Good morning, by the way. Thanks for getting me in. Last summer when I was having a rummage sale, there's this one guy, and he's notorious for stealing at the auctions and stuff like that. And well, anyways, I had a bunch of stuff in my van and on my trailer that I hadn't put out yet, and because it was stuff that had to be gone through. Well, he started digging through my van and digging through the boxes on the trailer at my rummage sale, and I'm just like, please don't. And he's like, well, how much do you want for this? And how much do you want for... I said, well, that stuff is not being sold. And he's like, well, and there was this metal crappy pan, and he's like, I'll give you $20 for this. And I was like, well, if you'll give me $20, I'll sell it. Because it was like a piece of crap pan. But then he ended up, well, I'm going to go home and get the money. Can I take it with me now? I was like, no. What are you, nuts?
Oh my God.
And then when and your credit card with here, and we'll do that. No problem.
And then when he was grabbing stuff off the table, he's like, okay, add 50 cents. Okay, add $1, and then he'd go take it to his car, and then he'd come back and get something else. Okay, add $2, and he'd take it to his car, and he'd come back. And he was actually surprised that I was actually keeping a good tally on everything. He thought he was dealing with an idiot, I guess.
You don't take stuff in your car until the money crosses my palm.
Yeah. Usually I'm pretty particular about that, but it was so busy, and he was just doing this. But I was I was keeping a running total.
Yeah, I'm also the guy that sits there with a gun on the hip when I'm doing a yard sale.
Did you throw Norton out? Thanks.
Not going to mess around with stuff like that.
And like I said before, I usually have my rummage sale sometimes Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I put everything free and come get it, and people start coming and getting stuff, and I very rarely have anything left.
Yeah.
Usually only have a few boxes left, and then I take it to Goodwill on my way home because I always have it at my dad's house. So because I live in the country, so it's hard to get good rummage sales in the country.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna get a different storage shed because you can't have rummage sales at this one, and we got a train going by, so if you hear whistle. Anyways, I'm gonna go to a different storage shed company because you can have rummage sales over there. Then all the little stuff and that I have at my rummage sales, I can just do it right at the storage shed and just pull it out and have my sale, you know.
Yeah.
Won't be as much work.
I had set up, we have this thing in Eagle River here. It was called Cranberry Fest, where they shut down the main drag for this antique show, you know, and they have booths set up. So I would, down the way from there, my husband was a mason. We'd rent the Mason Hall. They had a real big downstairs, like, not the meeting room, but like a big dining area. So we set up an estate sale there, and we did good, you know, setting that up. We were getting the runoff from that antique show downtown. So
Yeah.
it's like 2 blocks of me. But then that got to be kind of, it's a lot of work. You know, you got to haul that stuff and set it up and clean up after, you know, you get done with it and stuff. So I don't do that too much anymore. Furniture got harder for me to sell here, you know, when gas prices went up. Because we get a lot of tourists, like from Illinois and stuff. And, you know, when gas prices went up, they stopped coming up in their Suburbans and pickup trucks and started driving Priuses. So they're not going to haul antique dressers home with them and stuff.
That's true. Gas prices are down, though. SUVs are coming out of the garages.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I'm in a different mode right now because I'm not going to stay here. So I'm not going to do that right now. I got other stuff I'm doing. So anyway. But it was good. It's set up good, you know. And I do say if you put estate sale on a sign instead of rummage sale, you do draw more people in. I know it sounds crazy. You'll get a few that say, oh, who died or whatever, but most of them don't care because if they go, somebody's died, it has to be good stuff.
That's why if you're looking at an auction, check to see if it's a true estate sale or if it's a living estate sale.
You know, or moving, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I don't.
Actually, Valerie, if an auction wouldn't work, you never know if you have like an estate sale company in your area doing like a tag sale might work for you too.
Well, that's true.
You know,
That's true. And there's
think
definitely some,
like if you, it seems to me like sometimes when you have like you'll get hit hard the first week, but when you have like a bunch the rummage sales like every weekend trying to move, they get like less and less people because it's like, oh, it's the same old stuff. But when you have like something like an estate sale or a tag sale, it does create some hoopla where you get a really good crowd in that first push. It seems like you can get rid of a lot of stuff.
right. And I, you know, if I did something like that, you know, I probably just would have, you know, one sale and try to sell as much as I could, and then, you know, whatever's left over, you know, just donate it.
Yeah.
You know, so. But it's definitely something I'll put on my list to look into because, you know, it sounds like that would be a little bit easier.
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with it yourself or the people, you know, like, and sometimes I know your husband died, so when you're selling off your loved one's stuff, I mean, you do have a little bit of a personal attachment to it because it reminds you of the person where, you know, you don't have to deal with the people buying it or trying to dicker down the price and stuff like that. I will say that it's nice. And it gives you a nice lump of sum of money, like, okay, this weekend, I did it. I sold everything, whatever the amount is. Now I can move on.
Right. Exactly. Definitely something to look at.
No.
We have 13. What the heck? We had just a few minutes ago, we had 15 viewers. Now we got 13. What's going on?
Who knows? Maybe they just don't want to watch a good show.
Maybe they're sleeping in. It's Friday.
Did you know that the scientists moved the doomsday clock 30 seconds closer to midnight?
Yeah, my husband
Like-
told me something about that because of Trump.
Which is
What?
Why is it because of Trump?
I don't know.
Warming.
I don't think it was because of Trump.
No,
That's what they're blaming part of it on. My husband follows this stuff. He just told me it like yesterday. So yes, they did blame Trump for part of it.
what's funny is they blame Trump, but then they turn around and said that, you know, they hope with his fact that Trump actually looks at as Putin as somebody they can get along with, that's a good thing. And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Then you blame Trump, and then you say that, you know, this guy's got a better relationship with Russia, so we should probably be doing better. I mean, it's politics, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
We don't talk politics.
It's a bunch of crap. The doomsday clock is a bunch of crap. Is what it is. It's been close to midnight forever. You know, they invented it back in the 50s when the atomic age came around, and it was a scare tactic back then. It's a scare tactic now. It doesn't mean crap.
Next day on the politics.
I didn't start it.
He did.
It wasn't a politician. I wasn't picking sides. I'm just saying it's a political scare tactic.
Abort mission.
Reverse.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second. My sister-in-law pulled up. I'm sitting in the parking lot of the storage shed, and she saw me sitting here when she was waiting for the train, so she stopped and said hello. My van is noticeable. It doesn't blend in, so my big green van. Everybody knows when they see a big green Astro van, it's me. I had a good night last night. I went to the auction and I bought like 7 boxes of books. And
Wow.
at least 3 of the books, I haven't gone through all of them, but the three books that I do know about go for at least $50 and each. And then there were some other ones that, you know, go for $20 or $30 too. Anyways, so I got 7 boxes of books, and then my husband mentioned the seafood buffet up at the casino, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds good, because there really wasn't a whole lot there that I really wanted, and or that I couldn't live without. And cute dog, Tara, and
Good guy. He's a rat terrier.
cute.
He's a grump. Okay.
Oh. What did you do to that dog?
Big fat dog.
He just you can see him.
Wow.
Poor
And
thing.
they get jealous.
Okay.
So anyways,
Wow.
we went up to the casino to the seafood buffet, and I paid for all 4 of me and my kids and my husband. It was like $80 for all of us to eat. And then we never gamble, but I thought, well, they got the Walking Dead machine, and the Walking Dead is like my favorite. So I went over and played the Walking Dead machine and put $20 in, and I ended up winning $200. And then
Woo!
I know, and I'm usually the person that if I was the only one in a drawing, I would never win. You know, I never win anything. But anyways, and my other daughter, she walked away with $15. My other daughter walked away with $20, and my husband walked away with nothing. So then we went back, and we had to go back to the auction because we left the girls' cars there. And so we went back to the auction, and Gary's like, well, let's go back in and see if there's anything left. This was about 8 o'clock. And so we went in, he was on the tables by then, and we ended up staying until it was over, and then we sat and, you know, chit-chatted and stuff. We didn't get home until probably 11:30 last night, but I ended up buying a lot more stuff at the at the auction when we went back. But for the whole night, all the stuff I bought, I probably spent like $30 at the auction. Well, after everything was said and done, I ended up only spending, well, the $10. I gave my daughter $10, and then everything else was like $4 after everything was said and done, after winning that money. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when can a whole family of four go out and have fun for a whole night and end up walking away spending less than $14? You know.
That's right.
So that was pretty cool. It was a good night.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what'd you get? Mostly just books?
Huh?
What'd you get? Mostly just books?
I got 7 boxes of books. I got an oscilloscope. I got a projector. I got a bass unit, a CB bass unit. None of the stuff I've looked up, so it was just kind of it's cheap, I'll try it out, you know. But if I can't get rid of it, I'm sure I'll be able to get rid of it on eBay. But if I can't, you know, I'll get rid of it somewhere. But things, you know, it's for people that don't normally go to auctions. It's notorious. If you stay till the end, most people are gone, and you get some really good deals, you know. And then I got a bunch of knickknacks and pictures and stuff that'll go in my rummage sale this summer. Because I ended up buying a whole table because I wanted this coffee grinder that was on there. But I bought the whole table for like $3, so you know. We got some camping stuff for us. I know, I got all kinds of stuff. My whole back of my van is just packed. I got tons. But
Well, that's good.
yeah, I was pretty excited.
But you didn't spend a whole bunch of money. You know, that's even
Yeah.
better.
Well, I never spend too much money at the auction, but
That's one thing that I think I really want. I mean, I've gone to an auction. And, me and Mike used to go all the time. But I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to get back into it, after everything that's happened and all that. So, but I would like to get back into it and start again. Not while I'm here, because I definitely don't need to accumulate anything.
I was gonna say maybe I need to make a run down I-35 and come take you to an auction.
Yep. But that's the thing is, I want to be able to, do stuff like that. When I'm out there in California or in North Carolina, I want to be able to get the most for my money. And when I'm going out sourcing, I don't want to have to go to, thrift stores and pay, $7 or $8 for a pair of jeans, and I'm only, not going to get very much for them. I want to be able to buy low and sell high.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the best way out there would be auction. That would be the best way to go, because it's, it's more expensive.
For California, I would say that California, your best aspect is going to be the garage sale.
Right. That's true too.
And because they can pretty much go year round. I mean, depending on what part of California, obviously. I mean,
yeah. And the flea markets, because there's a lot of flea markets out there. And I, that's a good idea too.
My thing about auctions is that, I can go to the rummage, or not rummage sale. I love rummage sales, but I can go to the thrift store and spend $100 and make, just a little bit more than that. Or I can go to the auction and spend, like half of that and make 10, 20 times the amount, Of course, it depends on everything you're picking up and what kind of auction it is, but.
Your odds of hitting a home run are much higher at an auction for a reasonable price.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
I agree.
I believe that.
Once in a while, you walk out at a thrift store, something falls through the cracks.
Oh, yeah.
It's real hit and miss. Auction is the way to go. You go stand there for a day, you go buy your stuff, and then you go list it for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I mean, you can, if you got one, if you can find an area, one good auction house that has a really good auction once a week or once every couple of weeks, you really, there's a lot of times you don't need to source anything else. I mean, that can be your
Yep.
sole source because you can buy enough good stuff there that you can pay, it'll pay for the auction with one or two items you can sell out of there, and the rest of the stuff is just pure gravy.
Right.
So that's why I can confidently say that my inventory is 100% free to me. Because I'll get stuff in from an auction, and I sell one thing, and 90% of the time, I mean, I spent $210 at an auction at one time, and I had one thing out of there sold for $250. Okay, so all the other stuff I bought, and I'll make another $1,000 off of all that other stuff. It's also a curse because it's for free. You lose a lot of priority getting it listed too. So
Yeah. Well, then, like with the exception of the stuff last night, of course, it is paid for now because I won that money. But if I didn't win that money, this is the only stuff that would not be paid for. Everything from last week's auction is paid for because what I do is when I go through them boxes, or I see if I bid on those boxes or items, I see something that's worth at least $20 in there. And so then I hurry up, I cherry pick the next day what's going to make me money, fast cash, pay for my auction stuff, and then after that, everything is just gravy.
Yeah.
It's all been paid for once I sell that item, And usually I'm only spending, unless it's like a big farm auction and I'm really really cleaning house. Usually at like the auction house, I'm usually only spending maybe $20 a night, if not, sometimes a little more if there's some good stuff, really good stuff. But generally, I can fill the van up for like $20, and next day I'm listing something worth $20 that sells fast, and then I got my money back, and then everything else is just gravy.
Yeah.
But you have to watch yourself because otherwise you end up with a hoard, and and you will end up with hoards because there's a lot of stuff in, like, when you buy box lots, there's a lot of stuff that's not eBay worthy. So and I've also thought of just going through my boxes at the auction and either giving it to the pile buyer, because there's always one, and they'll take it, or taking it to the thrift store, because on our way over the bridge, just before we hit the bridge to go over to Wisconsin, there's a nice little Goodwill there that'll take everything 24 hours a day. So I could just drop a bunch of stuff off on my way home too.
Yeah, I usually just leave it for the pile. The people that are cleaning up the auction afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't worry about it.
Take it though. Like, I know, like air auctions here, they'll be like, you have to take it all if you buy it.
Yeah, it depends on the rules, especially if it's an estate auction. They don't want anything left over. But there's usually somebody there. You can always tell the person that's going through looking at the boxes, and they come up and they see you separating and kind of cherry picking your boxes out. And a lot of times they'll ask, "What are you going to take that stuff there?" And they're very respectful. And you're like, "No, if you want this stuff, you can have it. Here, take this stuff." And they'll take it right from you because they're flea marketers and things like that. They'll take it. They'll get 50 cents or $1 for every item out of there, and they're happy with that.
And sometimes people they don't have their poker face on when they're at an auction, and you'll get the box that they wanted, and they'll be like, "Oh," so then who wanted that box. Yep. So if you want to take out what you wanted out of that box, sometimes they'll just take the box.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was funny when the first time I went to an auction with Mike, I was going through and just we were just kind of more previewing than anything else. And I don't know, they had some I think it was Coach purses. They had like 5 Coach purses, and they were really in good condition. And I was so excited. And Mike was like, "You need to calm down if you want to." He says, "You're giving it all up, and ain't nobody going to let you have them, or they're going to run it up so it's so high that you can buy them." So he's like, "You just need to calm down." And I was like, "Okay, I didn't know." And that was something, that I learned. Eric, so the comfortable life, he wants to know when the next happy hour show is, and that he has a question for Joe. What would
I have
you
no idea.
recommend?
Why are you asking him? He don't know.
I don't control those. Those are on the. I'm not an admin on any of those. I'm just a participant. So I don't control any time the happy hours. What's his question for Joe? I might be able to answer it for him.
I don't know.
Ask the question.
Yeah, let us know what the question is, and maybe Eric can answer the question.
Joe might be in the audience too. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He might be out there. So
Yeah, sometimes he's out there.
Hey, comfortable life. Post your question that you wanted to ask Joe, and maybe Eric can answer that. Some of us can answer it.
yep.
Yeah, sometimes we know stuff too.
Yeah, we know a little bit. Now, just because we're women doesn't mean we don't know nothing. Iowa Country Antique says 90%. In North Carolina, you take what you want, and the sales tax comes out before you get paid.
Yeah, and we'll have options if you have a dumpster set up, and then you can just throw out what you don't want. You know, that's nice.
Yeah, that's true. And that's another thing that I've done in the past too is, if I just want to get rid of something, I'll just put it out in the front, and usually somebody will come around and, pick it up, whether it's here
I'll
or.
give you an example of something that would get thrown out though. We were at an auction in May. It was a house that had been locked up since like 1982. It was a real time capsule. There was a box of National Enquirers that they were just going to throw away, and my husband's like, "Well, I'll buy those National Enquirers off you." Because sometimes he likes looking at old papers. So I paid like $1. He's been selling those, I think, for $10 to $12 for a while now. He's made a lot of money with them. And sometimes just stuff you throw away does have value.
Yeah.
Yours sounds like all over the place.
I'll refresh it. Is it better?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I mean, I don't mind selling old magazines, but again, it's one of those that I don't really want to get into because they take up a lot of space. But if you've got the space, back issues of magazines sell really well. And then there's ad buyers that buy them just to cut the ads out. There's a lot of different ways to make money. It's just, what's your price point? What do you want to be at? I want to sell $25 items. I don't really necessarily want to sell $10 items, plus I can sell a lot of them.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about a box of 50 Enquirers I've been selling for $8 to $10 a piece, and $1 in. That's a pretty good return.
Yes, that's a nice thing where you turn $1 into 500. I mean, that's what are you doing, Sal? You're gonna cut your finger off. I've never seen somebody so awkward with scissors.
I've almost cut my headphone cord so many times.
Okay. Sally needs the little round tip safety scissors.
Hey now.
So the comfortable life, Craig answered it, but he said, how compatible is Ubuntu with eBay when listing?
It's fine.
I don't know. It's UBUN.
Yeah, Ubuntu. Yeah, it's fine. I don't have any trouble with it.
Okay.
I have, it's a Linux system, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's why I was asking for Joe. And Joe's a lot more versed in stuff like that than I am, but
Okay.
I have, on the Hangout computer that I use, I have Linux, what I use the operating system, and I can do everything on eBay, print, do the whole 9 yards. It's a little bit more complicated to get things set up initially, but there's
Right.
enough forums and everything out there that you can find that information pretty easily. But
Summer clothes are selling.
Yes, they are. Everybody's getting ready for summer. Am I
sold.
echoing?
No.
Huh?
Do I have an echo?
Yeah. You did to me.
I didn't hear it.
You can't hear it, Eric?
Huh?
Yeah, there's an echo.
Okay,
Maybe
let me.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe. It usually is. I sold a summer dress, and I sold a bathing suit the other day.
I remember a lot of people take vacation and forget about the fact that they need clothes to go on vacation with.
Yeah.
Go someplace warm.
I should say, you can have this, but you gotta take me with you. Oh, goodness. Where'd Valerie go? Smoke. She probably went to Smokies.
What?
So where'd Valerie go?
I was right here.
I said she probably went to smoke.
I don't smoke. What are you talking about?
You know, Valor only smokes in bed. Come on now.
I mean, you were giving
smoking all
yourself
the
a
time.
breathing treatment. You're giving yourself a breathing treatment. I forgot.
No. I quit.
You're lying. I quit too. You know why? I quit.
You didn't.
Have you seen me smoke today?
No, I haven't seen you smoke today. I think I saw you smoke yesterday.
Nope.
I'm not allowed to smoke in the house anymore.
No.
I do not allow myself to smoke in this room anymore. That's why.
If she quit smoking in the house, is that what she's trying to say? What she said?
No, I quit smoking in this room.
Oh, this room. Yeah. It's not like your air conditioning
I
or
can still
heating
smoke in my bedroom.
Yeah, because it's not like the air conditioning or the heating is going to pull the smoke smell throughout the whole house anyway. No, that wouldn't be a big deal. But.
I can already tell the difference. I really can.
Put a good furnace filter on and you'll be all right.
A what?
A good furnace filter.
Furnace filter?
Get one of those allergy furnace filters, the real dense ones, and you should be fine.
Cool beans. Man. Holy shit.
Are we back in the office building working again? Maybe give me nightmares hearing all them phones. Oh no, I don't want to go back to work. Make me cry, especially office work. Oh my God. I went from being a truck driver to going to work in an office where you had to sit in a cubicle.
Oh,
God. That was horrible. I mean, I used to work in computers. I used to be a motel manager and all that. But my funnest job, besides working with the pigs, I used to raise pigs too at a corporate hog farm. But that was my funnest job. But truck driving was my favorite. Because I was my own boss. I could just do whatever I wanted, just check in once in a while. And yeah, it was, when I worked in a cubicle, I was sick all the time. I was constantly ill. My husband couldn't believe it. He's like, "Why are you so sick all the time?" And yeah, I mean, I was constantly sick, constantly going to the doctor, and it was a job making me sick. Because once I
Yeah.
quit and went full time, I've been, well, let's see, it's been what, almost 2 years now, or over a year and a half, anyway, since I quit my job, and I've been sick once since
Yeah, it's all those
then.
germs people at work, they all
And
put
I,
germs to work.
and I mean, I'm digging around in junk all day, other people's junk, and I don't get sick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I sometimes get itchy hands, but
I get itchy hands all the time, especially my left one.
That
no.
means you're going to get money, isn't it? When they say your hand.
Yeah.
Your right hand is the one you're going to get money. The left hand is when you're going to pay it.
Oh.
That's why my left hip palm always itches.
Yeah.
So I'm always giving out more money than I'm getting. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my husband, he told me he just finally took, because I would actually literally, and I'm not a crier, but I would literally cry when I had to go to work.
Oh, that's
I'd be
awful.
like, a lot of days I would be like bawling my eyes out because I had to go to work. And really and truly, I mean, my husband can support us or whatever, but my income makes it just that much better. I used to be the main
Yeah.
supporter because I make better money than him, but after I was done truck driving, he became the main income but yeah, I mean, when you're crying on your way to work because you don't want to go,
That's awful.
Yeah.
I see. My job's not that bad, and the stress level is very low. I don't
hmm
take any shit from anybody else. We're all females there, and
Yeah.
it's sometimes hard to work with 6, 7 females.
Yeah.
And there's you're all hormones and everything,
hmm
and so everybody knows that if you say something to me, then it better be the fucking truth.
hmm
And they better not be saying shit behind my back either, because if I find out, I'll confront them and they won't like it. And so stress level is very low because nobody wants to tell me shit. Basically.
This is my only boss now.
Time to get to work, mama.
Yeah. Yeah. eBay has really made my life better.
I mean,
And my husband told me, he said, "That's enough. Just quit. You just need to get done with it."
Look at this dog. We got twins.
Yeah.
There may be days where I don't want to go, but it's because I'm just feeling lazy or something, No,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, if I do get sick or whatever, I deal with it. I like my job there because it's very low stress, and I'm able to, make sure that I have, money to pay the bills.
Yep.
But I do want to try. I really, really do want to try to do full time sometime.
Well, there's nothing like working for yourself,
Yeah.
And I will say, when I started it, I got kind of thrown into it. We were doing it part time, and then I lost my job. And stop it! You quit. And
Yeah.
I got to do something. And where I'm at, we don't have a lot of very good jobs. I mean, it's very difficult to find a 40-hour-a-week job where I'm at.
Yeah.
Quit.
All right, I'm gonna go take my packages out. I'll be back.
Yeah, there's a lot of people around here who say that they have a hard time finding a job, but honestly, my whole life I've never had a hard time finding a job. You know, they're always complaining, "Oh, there's no jobs here." But I've always been able to find jobs. And sometimes they had to take a lower paying job just to get one, but you just work that till you find the better one, you know.
Our problem is here, you know, we're a very small tourist town, so you have some gas stations in the grocery store, but they won't give you more than like, I don't know, is it 25 or 28 hours before they have to give you health insurance? You can't find jobs unless you could get into the courthouse, which is almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
So you just figure out other stuff to do and you work hard for yourself, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, you know, I mean, no matter how hard you work for somebody else, you're only going to make the same amount of money. But the harder you work for yourself, the better, you know, the more money you make.
Yep.
The sky's the limit. You're the only one that can hold yourself back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, and I like it. And when I was young, I worked a lot of hard-working jobs. I worked on horse farm. I galloped racehorses for a while. I mean, I did a lot of stuff that you get banged around doing, you know.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you work on farms, you know, you get a little bit of the, you know, bad knees and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we were always taught to work hard, and nobody ever told me that I was going to be limping around at 42 years old. But some days hardly ever be able to move. And that's another thing that's nice about doing eBay is you can, like, my boxes, but like other boxes around my house, I repackage them and stuff, and then I can package them to where they're not too much for my ailments, you know. Yeah. So I can handle it. You can handle it, and you're not being overworked if you don't want to be, and that, you know. And I can sit there with my knee up if I need to, with my ice on it or whatever, and I can get up and move it and get it limbered up, and I can just do it. When I was working in the cubicle, I couldn't get up and walk around whenever I wanted to, or, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
So I had a lot more problems with my knee then too.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in the cubicle, I ended up having a back issue. I never had back issues in my life, and I ended up with a bad back issue for like 2 years in a row at that job. And ever since I quit that, even all the lifting and bending and squatting and everything I do with auctions and stuff, I don't have any back issues anymore.
Yeah, I used to have a real bad sciatic nerve because I worked at this racehorse training farm. It was a conditioning farm before they sent them down to the track. You'd have to pick feet. Well, you'd have, I don't know, 30 head of training horses to go through and pick and paint their feet. And I would get halfway through, my back would be just couldn't take it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it gets hard on you. You get a lot of arthritis young then.
Yeah.
That and getting, you know, thrown off and stuff like that, you know.
Sure. Well, that's, you know, me and tractors and steam engines and stuff, you know, we're jumping on off of that stuff and baling hay and all that other stuff, you know.
And that's how I blew out my knee, was jumping off the hay wagon. Just,
yeah. Not
any Superman, just hopping off. And well, this is a little easier on the body.
Yeah.
Getting too fat, but a little easier on the body.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Yeah. Yeah, I told my husband, I said, I got to get out and start walking. My gut is getting huge. Time to get out and start walking and get rid of it.
Yeah. And I still ride horses. They're just my own now, you know. So anyway. So I do try to get out. But my husband's like, we're getting too fat. We got to start riding bikes when winter's over. We went on this this bike riding kick, you know, where we're almost like killing ourselves because we're both getting too fat. But it's hard to stay committed to it.
It definitely is. I said when you tie yourself to your computer, it's easy to not get out and exercise like you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing I like about doing auctions and stuff is because at least once or twice a week I'm up moving around, lifting and standing and walking and, you know.
Or, you know, you're on your feet a lot. You know, you are doing a lot.
So, I mean, it gets, and then I'm always fiddling with my stuff when I'm at home. I'm always, you know, moving boxes around or just whatever. You know, I took some time off a couple winters ago off of my eBay and a whole winter off because I just didn't want to deal with the cold. And I was actually bored at home. I was like, what am I going to do with myself, you know? And I still ended up fiddling with my stuff and looking stuff up and that. And but yeah, as soon as it started warming up, boy, I was right back on eBay. I couldn't handle it. Once you get into this, it's hard to go back to normal life because I've never just sit and to watch TV or whatever. And so this has actually given me something to do. I can get up, move around, do something, you know.
Yeah, not just sit at home watching soap operas and eating bonbons.
Yeah.
I could do that, yeah. No, I like doing stuff.
Yeah, that's why I didn't last over the road very long because I didn't like sitting in the trucks that long.
Yeah.
That's why I went local truck driving. Then I was in and out of the truck all the time.
Yeah. When we go to Florida, we drive, so it takes where I live. And we do it straight through. We don't stop in the middle. But I told my husband on the way home this year, I said, that's getting a little, the older I get, that's getting a little harder to do is to drive through the night like that, you know.
Yeah.
We switch off back and forth, but it's tiring. I don't really like doing it.
Yeah, I know anytime I take a trip with my dad, it's always got to stop all the time. And so he can get out and limber up. He's 73, you know, and me being a truck driver, it's hard to stop. You know, I always want to just go and get where I'm going, you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we are. We don't stop and eat at restaurants or anything. I mean, it's just like how fast we can get down there. But I will say this year, because we bought a truck in Mississippi, we rented a Volkswagen Jetta at a rental place in Mississippi. I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cute, sporty car. Maybe I'd like to buy one. And I rode in that thing for, I think it was like 9 hours or something to Jackson, Mississippi. I'd never buy one. It was the worst thing to ride in. Me and my husband, both of our backs are killing us, you know. He's like, Jesus, it was like riding in a buckboard down there in this thing. I wouldn't buy one. The truck rode way better than that little Jetta did.
Hey, you guys were talking about sales earlier. I had yesterday morning, it was terrible, but last night at the auction, it always seems like at the auction, I always hear cha-chings. And yeah, last night it ended up being a pretty good night for that too. So
yeah, well, I was talking to you during the day, and both of us were good. And then I got some stuff started trickling in the afternoon, and then I did sell one bigger item. I sold one of those Ward's Junior tabletop cream separators. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
$10. And then some other like regular stuff, like a stupid. And I know I say I don't sell coffee mugs, but it was one of those Fire King Snoopy coffee mugs, like the Noel Christmas one. I got like $35 for that. And then a couple
those
other.
go good.
So then it ended up better than. But yeah, the beginning of the day yesterday was pretty dismal.
Yeah.
But I guess if you sell something during the day, it all evens out.
Yeah. I always like to hear those cha-chings at the auction because then when I'm spending money, you know, I always like to hear that money's coming in too, you know. Oh, there's like a bazillion trains going by.
Yeah, and then you hear everybody else's cha-chings too, and then you know how many resellers you got in the audience.
Yeah, it's funny when there's a cha-ching, everybody's grabbing their phone.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
And the auctioneers learned that cha-ching, you know, and who's the eBay sellers and stuff, and then you know he hears you, oh, you got a cha-ching. Well, you got some money, you can buy more, you know. Get up here and bid.
Yeah.
It was funny last night at the auction. There was this couple, and it was only like the second time at an auction, and they're just buying and buying and buying, and I was talking to the guy, and he told me that it was just their second time at an auction. Older couple, you know, probably in their 60s, and he goes, "I'm addicted." He goes, "I guess everybody needs a hobby, right?" And I said, "Well, this is a pretty bad hobby to get into, but yeah."
Yeah.
And I asked her because she was just buying up everything, you know. And I was like, "Are you gonna have some rummage sales?" "Oh no, I needed a new china set because I sold mine years ago, so I'll be happy to have this in my china hutch." And she's talking about this picture she bought, and she's talking about that. She was just she was so happy. I love seeing that when people are new to auctions, you know, because to me that's weird, you know, that somebody's never been to an auction because I've been doing it my whole life, you know. But
Yeah.
even before I was reselling.
Yeah. I used to go and just buy stuff for myself, you know. You
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
an auction and you'd be like, well, I want one of those. You go and check it out and buy it, you know.
yeah,
Now I go to an auction and I rarely keep anything. I mean, it's
yeah.
very rare that I buy
I
anything.
know.
I mean, sometimes my husband will buy a gun, so those usually end up getting capped.
Get off my books.
Really buy stuff to keep.
Yeah. Yeah, I very rarely buy anything for myself anymore because, yeah, I've got so much stuff.
Or I'll buy something for myself. I'll own it for 30 days and then I'll end up selling it. It's like I've gotten
Yeah.
it, achieved getting it, and I'm tired of it. I've changed.
Well, that's one thing that, you know, I do plan on doing when I do get my own place is wherever I'm going to be. I plan on buying used used furniture. That's one thing that I do like to do is kind of put my own spin on my furniture. So got a lot of ideas and you know, crafts and things like that. I would love to do that, you know, just to kind of make it my own, make it my own.
Well, it's like the everyday using stuff, like a fridge. You know, I guess I haven't bought a new fridge for so long, but if you have a $2,000 fridge, I mean, you could find a good one at auction that's not beat up. You'll go buy it for 250, $300, probably, you know.
Yep.
To me, it is the. I mean, and maybe I'm just cheap ass, but it is for me. It's the way to go. Why should I go to the store and buy it new when I can go to an auction and my washing machine fails? All I got to do is go find an auction with a washing machine, and odds are I'll get a pretty good deal on it.
Yep. Last week auction, I think it was, or the week before, I don't remember. But a guy bought a $2,500 refrigerator for $500.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to put it on a charge card then. You know, you just buy it outright. It's awesome.
So I bought my stove and refrigerator new, but washing machine, I wouldn't have a problem picking that up used.
I really just think that's the, you know, that's the best way to go. Save a lot of money with that. And
Yeah. I've seen real nice furniture get auctioned off and it's been real reasonable, you know what I mean? It just depends on the auction and what the person had that, you know, has it. And you can judge it there, you know, if it's clean or whatever, you know.
right.
Yep. Most of my furniture came from auction.
No.
Pretty much every bit of my furniture came from auction, except for my mattress and my bed. And actually, my mattress and my bed came from auction, but it was a auction of new items, so they were still new.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to have to go shovel my self to the mailbox to put the flag up. That's why I was gone so long. I was like, some bitch. We got a lot of snow in like an hour.
Snowing that hard up there?
Huh?
Is it snowing that hard up there?
Oh yeah.
Better
It's
you
coming
than
down
me.
in huge flakes. Yep.
It's weird hearing and seeing all these people that are getting so much snow and we have so little.
Yeah, we haven't
Usually-
got snow. We got a little dusting the other night, but that was it.
Yeah, the snowmobilers aren't very happy because there ain't very much snow.
Yeah, snowmobiling's down here too. And then they got that state of Wisconsin passed that extra trail pass too, which I think kind of hurts snowmobiling a little bit here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the.
Good morning.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. 10-4.
Yeah, over and out.
Do you copy?
Roger, over. Now nobody wants to talk.
What were you going to say, Valerie, before you put yourself on mute? You don't have to be mute anymore. Be free.
My honey was barking, so I did that. It's quiet. I've got a lot of work to do today. I'm going to do some until about 12 and then take a little break, and then I'm going to start doing some pictures and audit today.
I got some listings to finish up today. I started last night and I got to finish them today.
I got a whole van full of stuff I got to list today.
You're going to be busy.
Wow.
I am. Should be a good weekend though if I can get it all. If I can get most of it listed. Because like the books, I mean that'll be easy, but.
Dusty's awake.
I don't know. I've been putting some stuff on Merchant Fulfilled on Amazon. I've just been dabbling in it just to try it out. And I've only had about like, I don't know, probably about 30 items at a time. So I make maybe, I don't know, $50, $100 a month. It's not really anything to really talk about. But the other day I went and I took everything down. I was like, it's just not worth my time. But it's so easy to do. You just scan it and just pretty much list it, you know. But I thought, well, maybe I'll run through some of these and see how they'll go. I don't know. I usually just cross promote it, you know. And since I'm putting it on eBay, I might as well put it on Amazon, you know. See where it goes, but. I'm not really an Amazon person.
Yeah, I've just sold books. That's books and books on tape. That's all I've sold on there.
Yeah.
I don't do Amazon. I'm not saying anything against it. I just usually don't run into to put on there.
It's just never been my thing. I don't say anything against it either. It's just never been my thing, you know.
I think it made me a long time ago. I put a couple Merchant Fulfilled books on there, and it just didn't. It wasn't worth my time, you know. It just didn't pan out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't usually get very many sales on there. But I don't have like hundreds of books on there either.
No, me neither. Yeah.
So it's very slow. But I just, you know, take a sale when I can get it, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking when I was doing that Merchant Fulfilled ones, and I only had like 30 some listed. I thought, well, whatever, you know, it's kind of like Bonanza, you know. I always have Bonanza, my stuff on Bonanza, and if something comes in, well, it's a sale that I didn't make on eBay. You know, I mean, it's just an extra sale to me. So I mean, it doesn't hurt putting your stuff out there and getting more views. You know.
Yeah.
But it seems like even at low prices that I buy my stuff, it just seems like I don't make even close to the profit that I make on eBay, on Amazon. But I don't know. I've never really crunched the numbers or anything. It's never really interested me. So,
But
don't you have more like new stuff for Amazon or books or media? You can't they don't have vintage and antique stuff. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I can't be an authority on Amazon. I really don't know.
Yeah. And I hear people talk, they restrict you or they gate you in categories and stuff. And I just never really looked into it at all. I just don't run into that kind of stuff.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say something and flittered away. Ooh wee.
I've done.
Can I say what I was going to say? Because I'll lose it. On Merchant Fulfilled, it has like a place where it says lowest price, and it will automatically fill that in for you. And I never usually do lowest price because it's usually like 1 penny.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I know this shit is worth more than 1 penny, so I'm not selling it for a penny. And so I'll put it up for like $5. And then besides that, they'll give me my $3.99, shipping thing. And so, I'm probably making bucks on the deal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Yep.
So that's all I was gonna say about that. Is I've just put my own numbers in there. I don't really care what they're selling it for or whatever.
But all the Amazon people out there are probably shaking their heads at us right now. What a bunch of dumb women.
Stop talking about shit you don't know.
And I'm the first one to say I have no clue about Amazon. I just threw some stuff up there and tried it. And it's not really my thing.
Well, at least you're trying.
Yeah.
Well, I've done some retail arbitrage, and I did really well on there at first. I think I started in I want to say probably maybe February, March, and I did really good. I got up to, I think my items were like almost 500 that I had in there, and it seemed like every day there was something selling.
Nice.
But it got to a point where I was paying $39.95 a month for the professional account or whatever. And when I looked at the policies and procedures and all that, basically it stated that Amazon is what am I trying to say? They were responsible for customer service. They were going to be answering the questions and things like that. Well, questions on merchandise that I didn't even have here that was sent over into, warehouses. And so that kind of was a little disheartening. I'm paying somebody to do customer service for me, and I'm having to answer questions or, take time to actually respond to that. So I was like, I'm not doing that. And then they started, with a lot of the rules and things like that. And I just decided to, it wasn't work that I had to put into it.
I must ask you a question.
Yes, Miss Mustache.
I was just kidding.
Dork. Morning, Dusty.
Good morning. I had every intention of being here. Jim Bennett was supposed to call me and wake me up, and apparently he overslept. So it's all his big
You
fault.
need to give me your damn number.
I will.
I'll call you.
What's your number?
1
I ain't gonna say it on the air.
555.
8675309.
Train's coming.
I'm sitting right next to the train yard.
That seems to be like you kind of sit in that same place every day.
It's my storage shed.
Oh, I got you.
Why am I gonna give you my number?
I just wanted to see if you wouldn't think about it. You'd read it. You'd say it out loud on there.
No. But I was gonna give it to you, and I'm like, why am I gonna give you my number if you're the one that needs to be called? I'm already up in the morning.
You know what? Oh, I went to bed at a decent time too.
Well, you must have needed some sleep.
I think I did.
Margot says she can't take you seriously with that pirate hat on.
With what hat on?
With Valerie's pirate hat.
Oh, I don't even see Valerie.
You don't?
She should say
No.
art.
You don't
Wow.
see us.
So I had a guy make an offer on a book last night, but apparently he didn't know how to use the make offer button. So he like messages me and he's like, I would like to know what your best offer that you could do on this book is, because it would mean so much to my life. And I have multiple copies, and this would be the oldest one. And this book is the key to the meaning to the key of life. And it's one of those mystical Hindu books that I had listed. Remember, Eric, that were kind of like, yeah. So he buys it. I don't know if I want to read his whole message on there, but it's like, thank you so much for helping me afford this. I got up early for this, and you did me a solid. To make this, to me, this is more than just a book. It brings a peaceful calming to a troubled soul. I have recently let go of the reins of my life and go where life takes me. This book led me through blah, 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 blah. And he goes in, and I met so many friends, and tells me, I mean, he's telling me about his like life events and stuff.
I love people to do that.
Huh?
Wow.
I love people to do that, just to give you your entire life event, and you're like, dude.
I mean, it's kind of. And this is a follow-up after. So what I did is I responded to his message and used that little button where you can like send an offer. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because he told me money was tight and things. So apparently this book will help you in every aspect of your life except for how to have money. So, so no, he's like, I don't know. I responded back with the send message back and send offer, and I had it at like $55. But are you licking your mustache? He had it like 50. I had it at $55, so I responded back with like 45. I'm like, okay, money's tight, but the book's still worth something. So he bought and paid for it last night, and then sent me that message. But I don't know. It was. I woke up and I read it. I thought it was going to be like a problem. I always cringe when I see. I have a question about using my and Sally, what are you doing?
I'm twirling my handlebar.
Some more coffee or go to sleep, one or the other.
I must ask you a question, but I would save it for later. That's what my kids used to do.
Well, at least you touch somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, that's what I was thinking is, okay, that's really cool. Kind of weird, you know, that you told me all that, but you know, I mean, that's cool that somebody felt like they could open up to me at 5 a.m. Well, it was 7 a.m. my time, but I'm pretty sure they're in California.
He was too busy living life and letting it take where he's going to realize what time it was.
I always like to look. I always like to look at people's houses then when they're like, money's really tight. Just out of curiosity, when I'm in there printing the shipping label, I'll highlight their address and right click, you know, search on Google. And then I'll be like, oh wow, you know, like his is modest. It's actually a really cool looking little house, but it never fails that it's like some giant McMansion or whatever, and I'm like, can't read.
Well, he might have the mansion, but he might not have any furniture inside. Or he might not have any money.
That's usually the case.
Might have a
Yeah. A lot of people are house poor.
yeah, you pay a big payment or something.
Yeah.
No, he's got a really modest little farmhouse. Actually, a really nice piece of land. I'm going down the street now, looking at his neighbors.
I only did that one because I sold a coffee mug for like $35 or $40, something like that. And I wanted to see what kind of person it was $40 or $45. What kind of person buys a $45? And she was looked like a very wealthy neighborhood. It's not up in Washington, wherever that some island up there. I don't remember what it's called, but
All
really
aboard.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's good. A little stuff like if I sell really, really, really high dollar.
Are you having fun, Valerie?
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you were applauding. I think that's what that was. Anyways.
If I sell a really, really, really high dollar collectible or something like that, or something that's really interesting, I'll usually Google the people just out of curiosity, like who is my customer. I mean, I don't think it's totally creepy. If I have time, I say usually, like if I'm bored, not doing anything else, you know. Now if I'm like trying to get all my stuff out the door and packages shipped and everything else, now I don't take the time to Google everybody.
We heard you had really good sales yesterday.
Eric,
I just said it was freaky how they were just coming.
That's cool. You're proud of yourself.
I did. I mean, it was. I don't know quantity wise. I don't know if I've had a day like that in quite a while.
Awesome.
Last night. Oh, that's a waiting shipment. Hold on.
Is the windshield really big? Yeah, they got big shipping.
Today was what, the 26th?
7th.
Let me say.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
I sold 28 items yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
Dang.
That's a lot. I don't know. It was like somebody just flipped the switch or something. It was really bizarre.
did you check the color of your door?
It was green.
By the way, that's a good number.
I've never even had anything close to that before. Something to inspire me.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's not normal. I mean, I have good days and stuff, but I don't know why that's not like 28 one day is not normal.
Must have done something right.
It's for terror.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I
Go
was
out
thinking.
there.
Do what?
Big echo.
Eric,
He knows.
Eric trying to be subtle, and he's like, real quick now. Dude, we can't hear you because you're muted now. Dumb.
Are you in the challenge?
Who?
You.
Are you on crack? Of course I'm in the challenge.
Do it.
Well,
Are you in the challenge?
What?
no.
Sounds like somebody has a YouTube video going.
I show that you're in the challenge.
Yep.
Okay. Just checking.
Well, you and Tara probably have the lead. I'm just gonna say.
It doesn't matter. A lot can always change.
That's true.
But
I
you'll
was
be the
looking at my graph.
queen.
And a lot of times I'll go, my little graph
Right.
thing will go, and then all of a sudden go, bam, and nothing. Like after that, today, what's today, 27th? I'm so not away. I've only sold one thing since midnight, Cheryl Andrews.
Well, it's usually if I have a slow week, my weekend is good. If I have a slow weekend, my next week is good. So it always seems to average out by the weekly totals. But sometimes you have slow times, and then there's other times where the week's good and the weekend's good, and then you're like, yeah.
No.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I'm just catching up on stuff. So, I'm thinking about going to an auction tonight if I can stay awake that late. It starts at like 6, but I got a bunch of stuff I want to do. If I can get out, kind of get going, and not. But if I come back home and sit down, I probably won't want to go. And so I'm not really hopeful for it. It's a Friday night in the country, more antique furniture than anything type auction. So I think it's going to be more of a people paying retail price. Like I was listening to y'all talk, I was in there making coffee a while ago. Like the kind of people like I think it was Nikki or somebody saying that they've never been to an auction before, and they're like, we're just decorating the house. I'm worried that it's going to be that type of, there's not going to be good deals because it's going to be people that aren't resellers buying up all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But
still go, because sometimes that isn't always the case either, especially if it's a country auction. Sometimes people, and it's 6 o'clock at night. Some people don't want to get late at night. And
but we have, I mean, there's probably throughout the week within 100-mile radius, no, 50-mile radius of me, there's probably a dozen a week, and I just don't go, to very many of them. This one, a friend of mine that's a dealer happens to be going, so that's the reason I thought I might check it out. And of course, first words out of my mouth are, how's the snack bar?
You gotta have a good
I think if you got that many, it spreads the crowd out a little bit. Like me, I'll have like one, maybe two, and they all funnel into the same auction.
I think it's just, I don't know, a rural Alabama thing. Because it's kind of, which I'm sure it's like that rural anywhere, but it's kind of like, you'll just be out in the middle of nowhere driving down the highway, won't be anything for 10 miles either direction. It's like Bubba's auction barn, every Saturday night we have a lot of those things.
Okay, y'all, we got some serious static going on. I don't know what it's from. It's on now. No,
Not Nikki. Not Eric.
no.
Well, if everybody gets muted, you'll never figure it out.
It was either.
Is it May?
No, it's either Valerie or Tara.
I think it's Valerie, who's
They
still
were the
muted
last-
trying to talk. So
They were the last one.
it's Valerie.
It's me. I'm the lucky one.
You're the wiener.
The wiener.
Oh,
Today is going to be a great day. Okay,
Good day for sleeping. You know that you're muted, right?
no, I just wanted to be able to read my lips.
I could if you got up to the camera real close. I can only see your eye. That doesn't count.
Look into my eyes.
My eye.
All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap up this show. It was a good show today. Had a lot of fun. Hopefully everybody has a great Friday and weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning.
probably.
Many things. Adios.